In today's podcast, in What Kids Need, I want to talk to you about fun and games because I don't think people realise how much children respond to fun and games. Now, we've got three people in us. We've got the adult part, we've got the parent part, and then we've got the kid part. And when you've got kids, you can get into the parent part a bit too much, I think. And that's all you do. You just do the parent part and you forget to do the kid part. And I'm telling you, if you want to have a better relationship with your kids, whether they're small or 15 or 16, get into the kid part. Have a lot of fun with them, make a lot of fun, play little funny practical jokes on them, and make everything, when they're little particularly, everything a game. So packing up the toys at the end of the night becomes a game. You're going to timer and see how many they can pack up in 1 minute and practice some counting. Or we're going to get all the blue ones and you get all the red ones. Whatever, you make it into some sort of game, not a chore. And if you change it into a game, the children will participate more readily. Kids also like to have fun. They like to be silly, and they like when you be silly. And that's what they'll remember. They'll remember when you put spaghetti on your head, or you sprayed mum with the hose. They remember those things because what it is you're being a kid. And when you're being the kid part of yourself, not only is it really good for you because it's really good stress release, they actually relate on that level. So now you're not a parent, you're just being a kid playing dolls, and you're pretending to be that other doll and you're doing your stupid voice. Those children that you're with relate to you completely, just completely, because you're not being the parent. And any sort of role modelling or role playing that you could do with your kid in a fun way is going to make for lots of jokes. Use funny voices, dress up when they dress up, be silly, and make everything like fun. So if you're going to have tea tonight, have a picnic. Put a big blanket on the floor and have a picnic. If you're going to have barbecue, sit outside and have a campfire and do the marshmallows. Try to make the experiences you have with your children like fun experiences. It does take a little bit more effort, but you have a lot less trouble with them, because while kids are having fun and it's a game, they will be really almost like, I feel they let down their guard as well with us because we're not being a parent for a while, and then they just relax, and they might even talk to you about things that are things they wouldn't normally talk about when you're being the parent. As your kids get older, you also need to have fun with them. Of course, they won't think you're funny, but that's half of the fun, really. That's why there's stories about dad jokes, because they're so bad, dad jokes. And you could say mum jokes too, but you know the jokes that parents crack that all the kids are like, oh, dad, that's terrible, or mum. But in a sense, they know that you're trying to be funny or being stupid. And in that way, it makes more fun for them. The other reason it's important to make things fun is that you stretch the imagination of children. When you're saying silly things like, what have you got in your box? Is that a hippopotamus? And they're like, no. Is it a crocodile? No. You're actually teaching them that a hippopotamus and a crocodile can't actually fit in that box, and it's unrealistic, but you're having a bit of fun with it. So try and set up fun things. You might like to play some fun games with them as well. Some of the games that are out and about are really good, and they make you laugh and they're silly. You might like to play cards with them. Some people still do that. And you might even like to play some video games with them where you're laughing and people get shot or something. And, dad's just been shot and fallen off the top of the mountain because his glider didn't work, and everyone laughs about it. You're trying to make good, happy memories. And when you make fun and when you make jokes and when you make a game of things, they will have happy memories. We all actually know how to do this. I think we just kind of forget. And I think it's probably one of the most important things for children, to have fun with them and games with them. It will bond you to your children in a way that parenting them won't. When you're being the parent all the time, or even coming from an adult point of view all the time, they can't relate to you. They can't relate to you. But when you come from a kid point of view, they can completely relate to you. So while you're climbing around the floor and being horsey while someone's riding you on your back and whatever you're doing and playing hide and seek, just like them, and scaring each other, they're going to be remembering that because you were fun. And they're going to remember those times when you did that. They will remember the silly things. Also do some practical jokes, not mean ones of course, but little funny ones. So practical jokes are funny in a house, and see if you can set up a whole lot of little practical jokes that go on in the house. For a while there at my house, everyone kept moving the plate. So you make a sandwich, you turn around, go and do something, and then the sandwich is gone and someone had moved the plate. It was silly, but then you had to go and find your sandwich. But it was funny, and it didn't take much effort. And we played some really good practical jokes. I remember with my husband, he's supposed to be having red wine, but we put beetroot juice in it. Didn't say anything, and then waited and watched for him to try and drink it. Kids love that stuff. They love being part of a practical joke. Making something and then the person has to drink it or eat it, and then it's like, it's not that. Try and make fun with your kids. You can also make up your own games. A lot of families do that. They actually have a games night. They play games, different games. You can do charades or whatever you like to do. You can have singing. You have one of those microphones and do karaoke together and sing-alongs together, because all this is joyful and happy, and it brings more happiness in your life, and it builds those beautiful memories, and it bonds you. Because when you look back and you talk about it, like even when I talked to you today about the missing plates and the beetroot wine glass, our family will always remember that's just one of them. We had lots of them. And I think the more you inject fun and laughter and happiness and act as a child with your kids, the better it is. And the reason is also because you're on the same level. Now, when you're being the parent, you're on one level and they're on another. And when you're being the adult, likewise. And the child can't really be an adult. And they can pretend to be a parent, but they're not really one yet. However, when you be a child, you're actually on the same level. And that's where the closeness comes, because you're sort of eye to eye with them in a sense. I think too, it's fun even when they're growing up and you be silly or stupid with them, and they laugh at when you make mistakes, and instead of telling them off, you laugh as well because you did something really stupid. In our house we call it having a Waldo moment. Try and cultivate this in your family, and anything that's arduous or that the kids don't want to do, like a chore, try and convert it into some kind of game. And you can even have how many times you had to pick it up, or how long it took you, or something like that, so it becomes more of like a game or like a little mini competition they do with themselves. Kids actually like games. They like the challenge of how long it would take them to run to the letterbox and run back, and you time them, and because you want them to get the letters out of the letterbox and they don't want to do it, so you make it like a game. Everything can be like a game, and what you teach them is how to play. And then when they have their children, they will know how to play. Because if you actually look at families where they enjoy each other, there's a lot of laughter. You go to a cafe and you'll see some families sitting there and it's all very serious, and we're all being told not to rock the chair and eat your pizza or something. And then you have other families where there's lots of laughter coming from the family, and the kids are part of it, and maybe someone's some kids hopping up and doing a little dance to show everyone. So it's also to help them to learn to express themselves in a safe environment. And when you're a parent-child, for some children, it doesn't feel as safe, whereas when you're just kids on kids, both being kids, it'll feel really safe for them. Enjoy your kids, have fun with them, make fun with them, play tricks on them, get water pistols and run around outside in the garden and squirt each other, play ghosts, whatever you like to do, play with torches. Just make it fun, and your children will really benefit from it, and your relationship will become deeper. Because I think adults tend to grow up and they forget about being the child, like to foster the child in us. And when we foster the child in us with our children, it's actually good for us as well, because you remember what it's like to be childlike and to have some fun. So when you go to the playground, hop on the roundabout. We call them a roundabout, goes round and round. It's one of the things at the playground. Get on the swings, climb on the monkey bar, go down the slippery dip. Just make sure your ass isn't too big, because some of them are very narrow. And just have some fun with it all. And that way you'll find that if you create fun in everything, like boring meals, make it fun, turn them into other kind of meals, dress up for the meal. So today we're going to have pizza, Hawaiian pizza, so we're going to come up and everyone has to go and get dressed up and come out. You'll find that it'll enliven everyone, and while we're having fun and while we're being in that way, the love grows. The love grows and the connection grows, and that's the most important part of it. See what you can do to have fun with your kids, see if you can create more of it, and I think you'll really benefit, and they definitely will. They'll love it when you be a kid. They really will. So I'm sending you lots of love and lots of light, and enjoy those children.